Hi, this is Maggie from Crafts the Charm. Thank you for stopping by. So I want to try to weave something. I've always wanted to weave, and I've never done it before, at least not before last night when I made this, and I'll talk to you about this in a minute. But what I want to make is something to go with my southwestern eggs. So I think I'm going to use these colors from the Dollar Tree. I don't know how well that color is coming through, but this is called teal. And then this is the old cream color before they changed the cream color, and I just love this. I only have 2 skeins of this. This is my favorite off-white color at the Dollar Tree. But I'll bet, you can find an off-white color just about anywhere, so I'm confident I'll find something I like somewhere else. So I looked online for how can you do this sort of in a beginner way, and I saw a lot of resources for how to make a cardboard loom, and I'll include one in the description. But basically you can take a piece of cardboard and you can see you just cut notches at the end. You have to measure very carefully, and then you string your warp. And I decided to use, this is Dollar Tree twine, jute twine. I liked the rough look of that. You could use string, I imagine, or you could use maybe yarn, I'm not sure. But I really liked the rough look of the jute twine. So I decided to try with that. And I strung it on there, and you can see I used a couple of colors. I tried a few different things. You can see I got a sort of a triangle pattern here. So I think what I'm going to do is keep it mostly simple, mostly stripes, but I will do a little bit of a triangle pattern. And one thing I did learn is that I really want to have a nice long piece of the warp, because it's difficult to tie this. I think it would be easier with a different kind of string, but it's difficult to tie this, so I had trouble tying on this end where it's shorter. So I want to make that nice and long. And I started out, I didn't know what to use for a shuttle, so I started out with a little piece of cardboard for a shuttle. That was a little tricky, and then I thought to try paper clips. These are larger paper clips, so this is what I'm going to use for a shuttle, but I am going to put tape over them because this part, the loop, sometimes got caught. So I'm going to start. I have a piece of cardboard here, and it's a big piece of cardboard. And I'm going to try to straighten it out, like square it off first. Okay. And I want my piece to be 14 inches, and I want to leave those nice long threads at the end. So I think 18 would be a good length. That's down here. And in the other dimension, we don't need as much extra. My threads are going to run this way. So maybe, I don't know, 11 inches? So there's the piece, and it is kind of wobbly, so I think it would probably be better to glue. It's like a perfect fit. The problem is when I'm cutting those little notches, I don't think I want to cut through 2 pieces of cardboard. So I'm going to make this one a little narrower, or not narrower, a little less long. Just cut some of that off. And I'm going to glue them together. I want to mark where the notches are going to go. And on my other little example here, I had them every 10 centimeters. That seemed to be fine, so I think I'll do that. Obviously you might want to have something that's a little so that's a ½ inch in. This is 10 centimeters down. So here's where I'm going to cut the slots, but I want to make sure I have that border on both ends before I do that. have our piece for the back, which we'll glue on in a minute. And then there's 2 other pieces that we want, and those are pieces that are going to go underneath and sort of lift up that warp. So now we're just going to thread it. I'm going to tie a knot. And that website that I'm going to link, she recommends putting this at the bottom. Let's see if I remember. Slot. And I really don't want this in the way. Okay. And then up here we just go through that slot, and then yeah, that's what I'm worried about, this being wimpy cardboard. I also don't want it to get glue on it, so I want to make sure we're nowhere near glue. There's a little glue. Okay. And then we just keep going like that. So down to this one. I'm going to try to do it nice and tight. Did I say those were every 10 centimeters? It looks like they were definitely every 5. So this might look very weird, but I guess we'll see. Okay, and hopefully that's dry enough. So I'm going to take these and slide them under. Now, I do want to tape up my shuttles. What I'm calling my shuttles. What is that? It's just fluff. So I have some painter's tape. And I want to leave one end open that I can attach the yarn to. I think with a real shuttle, it has yarn on it. I'm doing this more like sewing. I don't know how you're supposed to do it. Let's try this. Just don't want it to get caught. Looks like that'll work. We'll do one for now. Okay, I'm going to start with the cream. And I really just want to get a sense of how many inches I get per some number of rows, so that then I can plan out my pattern. It's really not a very big space. Is that 10 inches? Yeah, that's more than 10 inches. Okay. So I don't know how much to cut. Let's just try 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, sometimes you have to start new. Let's try 4, see how that works. Okay. There we go. A little mark set there. Okay. And then we'll just start. So over, under, or under, just like that. And if you make a mistake, just back up the way you came. I was trying to do this while I was watching TV, and I made some mistakes because I wasn't paying attention, so you just have to pay attention. Alright, so I'm going to pull that all the way through and leave a tail. Again, I think usually all this weft would be on the shuttle. Okay, I'm going to leave a good tail, and then I'm going to press it up against this thing. Okay. And then we do the opposite. So we're under there. So over, under, over, under. Okay, now, first of all, we want a neat edge over here. Let's see how neat that is. And second, we don't want to like pull the warp in. So what I was doing was trying to sort of hold the warp, I'll push it, but then trying to hold the warp while I pulled it so that the warp didn't get pulled into, to make it tight. Okay, let's do the next one. So that one's over, so we're gonna go under. Basically, I got an inch done. It was 15 rows of yarn for an inch, and so that allowed me to plan out the whole mat. So I've got roughly 2 inches of the white here. I think I actually did 31 rows instead of 30, but I've got about 2 inches of the white, and now I'm going to do some teal, and I'm only going to do a 1/2 inch of teal here, but I've made another shuttle, made as in taped, another shuttle. And because I still have yarn here, so I'm going to leave that. And we'll do a lark's head here. So start with an over with the turquoise. And as before, we'll leave a little tail for weaving in at the end. And I said at the end of the other video, I'm not going to show you all the weaving. I'm going to show you the interesting parts. So what maybe is interesting here is starting a new color. Not too different from what we were doing before, though. And so my plan is to do 2 inches or 30 rows of the off-white, and then a 1/2 inch, or I'm going to do 7 rows of the turquoise. And then, let's see, 1.5 inches of the white, or 22 rows. And then 1 inch of the turquoise, or 15 rows. And then 1 inch of the white, or 15 rows. And then I'm going to try to do something with some diamonds. So when we get there, I'll come back. All right, I made myself a little pattern. I'm at the point where I want to do a turquoise middle part with some diamonds. And the little dark circles represent turquoise, and the lines represent the warp, and the round ones represent the off-white. So we're gonna, move this way. And I actually did 1 more row here because I need the first white to be an over. And at one point I started doing some of the weaving with a yarn needle, and that's actually pretty quick. All right, so we're starting with 2 whites, so over, under, over, under. And then for the turquoise, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, we're going to go over. We'll be under for a while because there's only 3 turquoise. Okay, and for the white, we go under the one before the turquoise, under the turquoise, under the one after the turquoise, and then we get 3 more. Over, under, over. And now we're coming up to where there will be another turquoise. The whites are it's going to go under 3. Maybe I'll just do the whole white. So under 3, and then over, under, under 3, over, under, over. Okay, there's all the white. So together, basically, these are going to make 1 row. So the turquoise is there, and then where we have white under another 3 right there, the turquoise is in the middle. And then again, when we have the white under another 3 right there, turquoise in the middle. Okay. And give ourselves a little tail, a little white. I did not do a good job at all of not having this pulled too tight, but I'm going to leave it because I don't want to undo the whole thing. And Maybe next time I'll do better. I hope that this is the sort of thing, like knitting, that you practice it, you get good at it. And I think knitting's very empowering. And hopefully this will be too. Okay, now we're going to try the second row. So coming back this way. So under with the white, under, over, under. Let's do the whole thing. Under, over, under, and then under the next one is, wait, no, that one shouldn't be a turquoise. That one's going to be a turquoise. Under. This is going to be left as it is, and then a turquoise, left as it is, and then over, under, and then, so it's over, under, 1, 2, 3, 4 more under. No, I'm not good at counting these. I have to figure out what the color is. Okay, so over, under, okay, so that's that white, and then under, 2 more under. Hopefully I count this right. And then over, under, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more under. I should have an over, under. Not sure. I may have messed that up, but we'll see. Maybe when we do a turquoise. Okay, so the turquoise is over, and then over. Of course, if I go by the white, then I'm just multiplying my mistake, possibly. Over and over. Wait, it shouldn't be over here. It needs to be under. Come back. All right. There we go. Over, under, over in the middle. Wait, that's not right. This one's over. It's over there. It's supposed to be over this one. Under, over, under. There we go. That's correct. That's gonna look weird on the back side with it underneath there. I guess we'll see. All right, and then under, so over this one. Just don't feel quite centered, I guess because it is so squished here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So that's my bad for squishing it. Okay, over, under, and then over, under. Okay. Let's see if we can make that look any decent. Because we have to get white to fill in these places where we shouldn't be seeing it. Okay, do I have enough to go back? Sure. Last one. Do I have enough to go back on this one? No. That's unfortunate. We're going to be doing a lot of turquoise in the middle, so we'll just get us a nice long piece. I'll probably end up putting this on the yarn needle. But okay. Okay, so for the white, the last row is a lot of turquoise. The white is over, under, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unders after that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then an over. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So after our over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the last one's an over. Okay. And that's let's see, pulling it way too tight. That's our last white to give us the little points. I don't know how they're going to work out. Because I kind of want that over there to overlap that. Maybe you're supposed to just go in and just do, I don't know, let's see. All right, so here, managed to make it. What the heck, what is this? I don't think I could have done that if I tried. All right, no knots. So 2 unders, and then over, under, over, under, over, under, and then 2 more unders. Nope, that's not right. This one's an over. Over, under, over, under, over, under, and then you can just eyeball this by seeing where we go. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay, and the tail. I don't know, let's see. I mean, it's certainly a shape. What happened here? Okay, wait a minute, what happened right here? Because we've got 2 things going under, 3 things going under, that can't be right. All right, so I went back in and fixed that quote-unquote point because it was really bothering me, but I just feel like the point, I'm starting to pull it apart here, because I feel like the points just aren't successful at all. So I think what I'm going to do is try to find where this old turquoise thread is and just pull out the points. Well, that's my repair. Just gonna do stripes. But, well, let's see. We want to start working some jute in to make it interesting. Well, let's see how this looks. Just a little bit of interesting texture going across. I'm going to give it a pretty long tail because it's kind of obnoxious. All right, we'll just do 1. Okay, I am finished weaving and I did just a symmetrical pattern, but I am disappointed that I did not do better with this. You can see that it gets much narrower as it goes along, and so hopefully next time I do better. So what I'm going to do is snip these, and I guess I'll snip them on the other side. I don't know if I'll be able to use this again, because you can see I did lose one over here. Alright, so I'm going to, obviously there's a lot of weaving in to do, but I'm going to tie these to each other. There's one extra, but I'm going to start by tying the pairs. Oops, that one I didn't cut. And I'm going to do a square knot, so left side over and then right side over. And I thought what I would do is join the ones next to each other with a knot. So let's look at weaving in now. So I think you have a couple of different situations with the weaving in. One is where the piece started with an over, so it really needs to be woven in like that. And where there's an under, like these, in some cases I already wove over them, and these don't look like they were woven over. So let's start with, like, here's an under. Let's start with a nice long over and see if we can figure out how that needs to be woven in so that it looks right, because we know it needs to go like exactly over like that. We come over here and then go up. Let's try that. This needle's a little fat. It's not like I can make it look much worse, right? Okay, let's try that then. Okay, so I can't even release stage this thing. I think it's one of the most disappointing crafts I've ever made for this channel, but you can't expect to be an expert at something the first time you try it. So I see potential. I do really like the jute, but I had a lot of trouble working with it. And I like the way it looks at this end, where it's a little bit, it's a little bit too wide. I had a lot of trouble with the weaving in, so I have to learn how to do that. But you can kind of get the idea of what I was going for there, and definitely looks better if it's mostly hidden. So that's not too bad. I also think it has some potential here as being a blanket for the llama. That's my llama that I made. But it's not quite long enough to drape like that, but I kind of like it like that. So I'm going to try again at some point because I really do want to learn to weave. And it wasn't a complete fail, but pretty close to a complete fail. So I'd love to know your thoughts. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you enjoy this sort of content, please subscribe to Crafts the Charm. Thank you for spending time with me today. Take care.